The Women at War project was a project that we ran in February 2014. It was funded by Heritage Lottery and it was part of their Understanding the First World War Fund. 2014 marks the centenary of the start of World War I, and we started to think, what could we do to commemorate that?
So the suffragettes wanted the right for women to vote. The move for women to vote actually didn't start until 1897, when Millicent Fawcett founded the National Union of Women's Suffrage. Now, suffrage means...
The project took place over a half-term holiday, so we invited 20 young people to come and join us, and they met with us at Thackray Medical Museum, and on the Monday morning we all didn't know each other, we were all strangers, but over the course of the week, through a series of creative workshops and rehearsals, we devised loads of original material which became the final show, which we performed on the Friday to an invited audience.
But could not be allowed to vote. She argued that if Parliament said that men and women should both obey these laws, then women should have a say in them.
What about Emma Pankhurst?
The process of making those laws, and she said that we should have the same rights as men. One of her most powerful arguments was that wealthy men, mistresses of large manors in the States employed farmers, workmen and labourers who could vote, but the women could not, regardless of their work.
You know, these women were visionaries.
In 1903, Emily Pankhurst and everything founded the National Social and Political.
It's been a really good opportunity working with other students from like different schools and colleges. It's really given us a chance to see how other people work and their stylistic decisions in like creating and devising theatre that we can like take onto our future projects.
They weren't afraid to get what they wanted.
I am here as a person who, according to the law courts of my country, it's been decided is of no value to the community at all, and I am adjudged because of my life to be a dangerous person. A great many of you have been led to believe, from the somewhat meagre representations in the newspapers, that there is a manifestation taking place, a newborn hysteria sweeping across the...
It's been really exciting working with the Paper Birds professional company because we get to see how they develop their work and
general inconvenience to respectable, honest business people. It's irrational, you say, even if these women have sufficient intelligence to understand...
I think when you have a lot of physical theatre and movement in the scene, it can often add a lot of meaning to the narrative that wasn't previously there. Because when you have just a naturalistic scene, sometimes the audience don't engage well, and that's why I think it's really powerful.
The only means we see open to voteless people to bring about a political situation which can only be solved by giving women the vote. So here I am. If we win this hardest of all fights, then surely in the future it will be easier for women all over the world to win their fight when the time comes. So I am here, and I make no apologies for coming. I make no apologies. Activists marching and rallying in Hyde Park. Women giving speeches in Parliament Square. Chaining themselves to Buckingham Palace.
Out of my way!
And then everything changed. We were at war.
The final performance was a site-specific piece, and we had transformed the space within the museum with sound and light and projection.
That in some rich earth, a richer dust conceived, a dust whom England bore.
Spotted fever. Of course, he was packed up at once. There was a great carbonisation in the ward, and all us who had been near was vigorously sprayed with the antidote, the vile process. We have not heard definitely, but it is not thought to be spotted fever, and the doctor thinks that even if it is safe to go about.
Workshops were led by Shane Durran, the musical director at the Paper Birds, by myself and by Gemma MacDonald, the artistic director of the Paper Birds. And the young people were able to contribute lots of ideas throughout the creative process, and we explored the 100 years of women at work.
And then yours are actually static ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
The most valuable thing I've learnt from the Paper Birds as a theatre company themselves, some amazing, really great, useful devising techniques. We've created, like in just a short space of time, we've created some really great scenes. So like the way that they directed us and the thought process.
Someone had still spent 8 hours a day gathering water for their families. The average life expectancy of a woman in Afghanistan is only 45. In the developing nations, girls are still much less likely than boys to be allowed to go to school or even to learn to read or write. When the one-child rule in China was in place, people usually gave away their female children. And today, only 1% of the world's total wealth is held in a woman's name. Millions still raise their families in slums.
Women have fought to save lives in wars. They've fought to have their voices heard chanting outside Parliament. They've fought to have the vote and they're still doing it. And we will keep fighting for them.
It was an incredibly moving performance. I liked the level of energy that was there, and just impressed with how much they achieved in a very short space of time, and the way they worked together as a team was amazing.
I really enjoyed it. The acting was spectacular. I loved how the lines were done at different times. There was a lot of action sequences where things were constantly moving and you had something happening on the left side of the stage and the right side of the stage at the same time, and you could follow both. It was really good and I really enjoyed the acting.
I thought it was brilliant, and it showed the role of women throughout very successfully.
It was very moving actually, touched a nerve in quite a few places.
And to all ages as well, like my little brother and sister enjoyed it, and there were some older people there, and